welcome back to Creeped Out with Kate. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I sure am. I'm so excited. So today is Thursday. I know you guys are going to be watching this on Saturday, but it's the first day of October here in the past, and I'm so excited for all the creepy baking and spooky stuff, and really just anything else that pops to my mind that I decided to share with you guys. I did want to apologize for not posting the Get Ready With Me that I said I was going to post on Monday. Unfortunately, I didn't leave myself enough time to get ready and film, or really even just get ready. So I wasn't able to make the Get Ready With Me. So sorry. But today we are going to make some more creepy cupcakes. We're going to make some graveyard cupcakes. It's just going to be a chocolate cupcake with chocolate frosting and Oreo dust on top for the dirt. And then we're going to make a really cute tombstone out of some cookies that I just bought from the store. I'll show you guys. Let's get started. So far I went ahead and put all the dry ingredients in the bowl. It is 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I have half a cup of sugar in here and a half of a teaspoon of baking powder. It does call for half of a teaspoon of baking soda, but I guess I forgot it. I just have 2 containers of baking powder. I don't know what I was thinking, but whatever. I also went ahead and put 2 eggs in here, and I'm about to dump in 1/4 of a cup of oil. This recipe does not call for butter like the last one. So in goes the oil. And the recipe that I found doesn't say anything about this, but I was crushing up some Oreos ahead of time for the topping, and I realized that I really wanted just the cookies, not the filling for the dirt. So I'm actually going to put this in the cupcakes and see how that comes out. This is about a row of Oreos. It's about 1 row. Probably is quite a bit, but whatever. All right, and so next we have to put our cocoa powder, and it calls for a half of a cup. So I have this in here. I had a bit of a crisis. I pre-poured the oil, and then I ended up spilling it everywhere. Oh, half cup is what we did our oil in. I'm going to do the baking powder in it. Probably not a great idea, but whatever. Now, ideally, your baking powder wouldn't be in chunks, but I haven't used mine in quite a while, and so it's a little chunky, but it will smooth back out when we blend it anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I don't really care that there's enough baking powder in there because we just did the cookies, and that's going to give a lot of the chocolate flavor too to the cupcakes. And so now we need a half of a cup of milk, using the same exact one that we just did the oil and the cocoa in. Now you guys can use full milk. I don't know why I prefer the 2%. That's just what I like. All right, so we got sugar, oil, milk. It does call for a 1 tablespoon of vanilla. I feel like that's probably good enough. Just kind of eyeball it. Oh, and a little bit of salt. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, guys. So we only use this Himalayan pink sea salt. It's a little healthier than like iodized salt, and so I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in there. It calls for a half a teaspoon. Okay, I don't know why Tim doesn't really like sweet and salty, but I love it, so I don't care. So I put, that's probably a little bit more than half a teaspoon, or probably like right at it, but that's how much I'm gonna put. Anyways, yes, we have everything in now, so now it's time to start mixing it up. Obviously start out slow. Because if you start out fast right away, you're gonna have a terrible mess. Everything is coming together. And now this might be a terrible idea, but I'm gonna put a couple more splashes of milk in there because it's a bit thicker than I want it to be. I'm afraid that it won't be enough for all 12 cupcakes at this thickness, so I'm gonna thin it out a bit even though the recipe doesn't call for that. Okay, and I don't know how much milk that was. I just call it a splash. Alright, that's starting to look a lot better. Alright, perfect. And let me grab a spatula really quick. Alright, so we got our spatula. We're just gonna wipe off the sides. And give it one more quick mix. That looks great now. So we're just gonna take our baking tin. I already pre-lined it with the black cupcake liners from last time. I had a bunch left over. And putting away my cookbook that I wrote the recipe in so I can get some more space. I honestly have a really small counter. I wish that I'd like picked out a house with more counter space, but we'll add that later. Let me go ahead and grab an ice cream scoop and we'll go ahead and put the cupcake batter in the tins. It's in here. Found it. Alright. So for this one, we definitely don't have to do it as full as we did on the last video. Just because we're not really looking for that rounded top like we were for the brains. So we're just going to do what's normal, which is about half to 3/4 full. I'm going to scoop a little bit less at first and then kind of add some more as necessary. Oops. I love this one so much. It makes it so easy because it has this trigger is controlling like a sweeping motion that gets all of the batter out of the cupcake scoop or ice cream scoop. But I got this and I use it for cupcakes. We use a different one for ice cream. Wow, okay, so you guys know how I was thinking I wouldn't have enough batter. I actually have more batter than I need. Maybe I should have trusted the thingy. You guys know what I'm talking about. Ingredients, instructions, recipe. I'm sighing, but I'm actually having a ton of fun, so just ignore me. Alright, and I'm just gonna clean that off. I'm actually gonna put a little bit more in that one. And this one. And this one. And this one. So these are gonna be overfilled, but guess what? Who cares? Oh, you guys, I'm so crazy. It's pretty much perfect, to be honest, especially because I decided I'm gonna put a little bit more in this one. Yay! So now we have our filled cupcake tins, and we're gonna put them in the oven, which is over here. Pop it in. Alright, so I already preheat the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to let that bake for about 18 to 20 minutes. I'm going to check it after about 15 minutes, see about how much longer it needs. Keep checking it, you know, all the way from 15 to 18 or 20, blah, blah, blah. And once those are finished baking and cooled, I will be right back with you to make the frosting. So I have the finished cupcakes. They're a bit rounder than I would have liked, but whatever. So now we're gonna go ahead and start making the frosting. So I already put 2 tubs of cream cheese in here, and these little brown circles are from the Oreo cookies. These ones are chocolate marshmallow with chocolate marshmallow cream, so they're a little bit different than normal ones. I didn't want there to be a ton of white because for the most part you don't really see a lot of white in dirt, you know, so I was like, I want them to be as dark as possible. So all I've been doing to get the round part is twisting it, and then the cookie comes off clean, just using my finger to kind of pull it off and putting it in there. And then since we're going to be using the Oreos later, I'm putting them in a container. So again, I twisted it. I'm using my finger to scrape that off. Comes off clean and right in there. Okay. So, to be honest, I kind of just eyeball my frosting. So I have the cream cheese. We have the chocolate part. I am still going to put a little bit more baking, or I called this baking powder before, and I tried to do it again, but cocoa powder. Just gonna sprinkle some more in there. And again, it's a little bit chunky, but it's okay. So now it looks like that, which is totally fine. And we're gonna go ahead and put in a bit of powdered sugar. And that looks like that was about a full cup of powdered sugar that I used. And now we're just gonna go ahead and give this a little mix up. So it's not quite as dark as I would like it to be. And so I have this icing that we're going to be using for the tombstones. I'm not sponsored by Wilton or anyone, but I just happen to use a lot of Wilton brand baking stuff. I just get it from Walmart. This is black decorating icing, and just because I want this to be a little bit more dark, I'm just going to put a little, you see, I just put a little drop in there. I'll show you about how much it is. See? Very little amount. And see if I can get it to get a little darker now. That didn't really work. So maybe if I put like a little bit of Oreo in there, maybe the black from the Oreo will make it a bit darker. Let's try that out. Nah, that didn't work either. But you guys hear me say a lot during the baking episodes, whatever. It looks like this. So it's brown, and we're going to be coating it with the Oreo dust anyways. So we'll go ahead and use this. So last time I used a spatula, and it was really just too big for what I was trying to do. So this time I'm just going to use a small spoon. just a little tablespoon. And I actually made pudding for these ones as well. You guys saw with the last one, I put some green pudding. I'm just gonna put some chocolate pudding in these ones. Hold on one second, let me grab that little green thing and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my little green cupcake corer from Amazon, and we're just gonna start taking the middle of these cupcakes out. So you're just gonna pop it in, twist it around, and it comes right out. I'm gonna set these middles right on a little napkin I have here, and go ahead and do it again. And we're all done. Now all of our cupcakes have holes in them. I'm gonna move the frosting over to the side for a second. That way we can start filling the cupcakes. Let me grab the pudding out of the fridge. It's just a chocolate pudding, Jello brand chocolate pudding that I got. And again, just like before, we're just gonna take a little bit. I'm gonna get a teaspoon to help me get the Jello or the pudding off. And we're just gonna scoop it into that little hole. And obviously, ideally, it would sink in there. Just get a little bit. Use our teaspoon. All right, perfect. This is working out lovely. Plus the best part is you have a lot of pudding left over when you're done, because this makes a lot more than you need, and so you're gonna eat pudding. And I don't know about you guys, but I freaking love pudding. Who are we kidding? I just love chocolate. All right. And again, it doesn't have to be pretty, and it's okay if it goes a little bit over the center, because we're going to be frosting these in 2 seconds. All right. So now, let me see. Might clean the tops off a bit. But for the most part, looks pretty good. Now they're all stuffed again. So, let me rinse this off really quick. Alright, so we're just going to get a new spoon now for the decorating. And I just used the back of my spoon to get a little bit. And you're just going to put it on here. Now we're not doing any fancy design on top of these ones like we did with the brains, so feel free to take a little bit more time trying to make it look, you know, a little bit presentable. It doesn't have to be perfect at the end of the day as I sit here doing it for 10 minutes. That looks good to me. So, and I'm gonna leave them out so I don't have a hard time grabbing them again. Perfect. There's another one. And let's do another one. Another one looks pretty good. Okay, so give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and finish frosting the rest of the cupcakes, and I'll be right back to do the dirty part. All right, you guys, so let's get started on the dirty part. So we have our Oreo cookies, like we already talked about before, and I just have this whisk I'm gonna use to really just crush them up. I'm instantly regretting this, and I'm gonna go the easier route by putting them in a plastic bag. So just open up this plastic bag. Try and get them all in there. Whatever. Okay, that's much easier. So now, try and get as much air out as you can. And we're gonna crush them up. You can get all your aggression out on these freaking cookies. I don't want to work anymore. Okay, I think that's probably pretty good. Let's pour it back in and see what we got. Looking good. That looks pretty like dirty. So now we're just gonna take our cupcakes and dip them in there. Bam! Dirt. Bam! Almost done. Dirt. We got dirt on our cupcakes, then we're gonna eat them cause we're gross. Gonna eat some dirty cupcakes cause we're gross. Bam! Dirt. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna bring you guys down here really quick. Bear with me. I'm gonna bring you down to this piece of parchment that I put down already so we can start working on the tombstones. So first, what I have here is just some black icing that I mixed with a little bit of water so it was a little bit thinner. And I'm going to use this to paint the tombstones. These are just little cookies that I broke in half. They were like this, and I broke them, so they're like this. And just going to paint them. Now, obviously, this is going to be a little bit messy, but whatever. Whatever. And they don't have to be perfect. They just have to be black, resemble a tombstone. Obviously, you can put gloves on if you want. I thought about it, but I didn't. Awesome. Now, see how it looks a little bit black, a little bit tombstone-esque? Now, I'm just going to take a piping bag, which I filled with I put a little bit more black food coloring in from before in the frosting, and now just gonna write R.I.P. There we go. R.I.P. to my sanity, and gonna just pop it on there. Bam! Now we have a graveyard cupcake. Ah, good job. Let me put a little bit more stuff over here. There we go. Let's make another one. Gonna paint it up. Put some paint on it. Gonna paint the tombstone. Paint the sides. paint the back or the front, it doesn't matter. Bam! Another tombstone, y'all. Gonna do another R.I.P. R.I.P. to my youth. There we go. Bam. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish these up and then I'll show you guys the finished product. So these are the finished R.I.P. cupcakes. I think they turned out pretty good. They look a little bit like tombstones. Well, I'm happy. I hope you guys tune in next week. I'm going to be making a pumpkin cake in the shape of a pumpkin cake. I'm going to make a pumpkin spice cake, basically. It's going to be my first time doing that, but it's Halloween. We have to make some pumpkin stuff. We have to do some pumpkin spice. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I can't wait to see you next weekend, and bye!